like, you know what? I called my printer. I'm like, stop the press. And he's like, what do you mean stop the press? I'm like, I've got to change all the logos. Dude, we have to redesign everything. He's like, what? When? I'm like, right now. He goes, how much time do we have? 2 days. It's like, that's like 700 files. I'm like, yeah, we got to do it. So we just took 2 days. I mean, when it comes to the creation of these cards and just the creation of the project, I think what really makes this project the most special to me and why I feel like it's taken off and done as well as it has, none of this was planned. I literally just bootstrapped this whole thing together. Worked on it for 4 years, back and forth, and not ever imagining that it would take off like this. I got one co-founder with me, and I had to force him to even jump in this thing with me and help me out because when I first brought it to him, he's like, I don't have time. I work full time. I'm like, I need you to just give it a try with me. Just meet with me like once a week. So we would meet at a hotel lobby once a week, once every 2 weeks, and we'd talk for 4 to 6 hours at a time, and he'd let me go over my ideas. And he's incredibly red-pilled, so I loved the guy, and it was a perfect person to throw these ideas off of. But when we'd have these discussions, it was, how do we get someone to buy 2 packs? There was never the idea that this was going to take off in any way. So I think the magic and the secret sauce with this is we really just came in with as pure of a purpose with this as possible, not having any backers, anyone behind us trying to push any motivation of doing this because we're trying to make a bunch of money or grow to be this massive company. It was really, it's so hard to orange pill someone. It's incredibly hard to red pill someone. How do you get someone to take the time to listen to Bitcoin? We all talk about it as Bitcoiners at the dinner table. You have these discussions and it turns into arguments, and we're so passionate as Bitcoiners that it comes off. I think the majority of us have really good intentions, but that toxic maximalist comes out in people really easily. It's a battle to try to get someone to take any time and listen to you when it comes to Bitcoin. There's I missed it because I didn't invest or get into Bitcoin back when I could have got in at a lower price. Now you're coming at me, it's 40,000, it's 60,000, and I missed the boat and I'm too late. All these different things make it incredibly difficult. And my whole thought process was, what if you could just hand someone a pack of trading cards that has this information in it, that's really cool artwork, that has the fun of that nostalgic feeling of ripping a pack open and you don't know what you're going to get, and you don't tell them anything about Bitcoin. I mean, the original name for this project was Freedom Adoption Cards for Trading. And that shows how little I know in business, because I'd go on podcasts in the beginning and they're like, so this is Freedom Cards. And every podcast I'd go on, they're like, it's Bitcoin trading cards. So after a while of that, I'm getting ready to launch, and I'm like literally maybe 3 weeks before I launch. And we're at print and everything's ready. And I'm like, I can't move forward right now. Freedom Adoption Cards for Trading. I love that name, but no one gets it. And all these it was the last podcast I was on, and they were like, you should just call yourself Bitcoin Trading Cards. And then I was like, oh shit. And the acronym is BTC. I'm like, you know what? I called my printer. I'm like, stop the press. And he's like, what do you mean stop the press? I'm like, I've got to change all the logos. He goes, you have to change all the logos on every card, every wrapper, every box. I'm like, yeah, I have to. So it cost a pretty penny to stop the press, redesign, redo everything. And again, this is just me because my partner works full time. So other than him giving me feedback, this is on me and an amazing person that I found in Indonesia that has been helping me the whole time. Sam, shout out to Sam. He's incredible. And it was just me and him. And I'm like, dude, we have to redesign everything. He's like, what? When? I'm like, right now. He goes, how much time do we have? 2 days. It's like, that's like 700 files. I'm like, yeah, we got to do it. So we just took 2 days, redesigned it all. And that's kind of the story of how this thing has literally just been we'll do the best we can as we go. There's no set plan. The set goal is giving people the opportunity to have a tool to try and get people interested in Bitcoin. But in my opinion, even more importantly, freedom and just basic education. So the cards talk about freedom. They talk about tyranny. They talk about Bitcoin. They cover all of the different topics that me as someone that opted out of school at a very young age, I have no professional schooling whatsoever. So I'm probably the perfect person for this, because in order for me to really digest education, it's got to be really simple. And then I get in and I dive in, and then I start reading the books and I get going. But until someone really just breaks it down in like third grade math, like I'm not getting it. And to give me the third grade math, okay, now it's starting to click. Now I'm fired up. Now I'm going to go into calculus. Now I'm going to go all the way. But you got to start me off really slow and easy. So I put that same thing into these trading cards. I want it to be so simple that my teenagers or a 10-year-old or whoever can read it and get enough out of it to take something away from that. And again, it's don't necessarily open up big conversations with people about Bitcoin that know nothing about Bitcoin, or especially red pill topics. And you have someone that votes this way or votes that way, and you come in and you're like, they both suck. And they're like, the hell are you coming from? And they're immediately mad at you. You need something that doesn't even, you're not even going to talk to them other than, hey, you should rip this pack of trading cards. You might find a really rare card in there. That's it. Nothing more than that. And then you give them the power. Then they're going to find a card potentially that gets them excited enough to approach you with a question. By giving them the power to ask you the question right off the bat without you shilling anything, because the biggest thing that I get from almost everyone is, why should I be getting financial advice from you? I'm like, I'm not trying to give you financial advice. I'm just teaching you about Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is financial, so you're giving me financial advice. Stop doing that. The last thing I want is financial advice from a random person. So there's our biggest blocker we have to fight, whether it's your mom, your dad, your cousin, the person at the store. When you talk about Bitcoin, you are giving financial advice. And that's a very dangerous thing to just open out with. And we don't feel like it's financial advice. As Bitcoiners, that's not what we feel at all. But to the normies, that's exactly how they feel. So by giving them something that disarms them, puts a smile on their face, maybe puts the chase of this scarce, fun trading card. Maybe it doesn't even matter what the value of that card is beyond them knowing there's only 50 of these in existence. The price, the value of that card means nothing. What they're getting is the idea of scarcity. And that's the first thing you got to click in their head in order for them to understand Bitcoin. Understand scarcity. Get them in that, and then the 21 million, the decentralization and all that stuff will come in later, but you got to baby step. And I think, again, long tangent on it, but that's where these cards have the most potential, because it was never planned out with a team of people to create this massive project and do all these massive things. This was literally a garage built, bootstrapped, honey, please don't kill me, I'm spending our life savings, hoping this thing is going to work project. And all of the people that have came in as volunteers. My co-founder, total volunteer, to this day hasn't taken a single penny from the trading cards, and he's put in countless hours in this just because he loves the idea of what we're trying to do here and the hope that we're going to be successful in orange pilling a bunch of people and waking people up. Because we all have kids, and our kids don't have much of a future. If we can't get this next generation to wake the hell up and start to understand that, like, if you keep repeating the same stupid crap over and over again, it's only going to get worse and worse. So we're all doing this for our children more than anything. And if you have the right motivation behind you, success it's going to happen.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more on that. And I think the detail is also not only seen but also felt, and that's something I loved when I opened it. When I shared it with my kid, he was so excited. This thing that his dad talks about, and he sees me going to conference and I come out with a lot of stickers, but this time was this crisp pack of great smelling trading cards, which he knows from Pokemon, but now it brought to that. It's his most special and prized possession probably. and he really loves it. He's 6, so yeah, I mean, his eyes were just blown away. And also having printing things, I guess what I want to ask is, printing things is difficult, and getting to that point of actually bringing it and the quality and all that, How was that process? That you mentioned changing the logo. Did at some point you think, is this really going to be out there? Am I happy with it? This looking for perfection can sometimes be a hindrance. But you said, everything was flowing. But actually standing in front of the printer, it's a big step.
It's insane. So it literally, from up until maybe a few months ago, it was me and Sam, and we were doing 99.9% of everything on it. And out of grace of God, we pulled it off, because now we've got Asanoa, who's coming on as my lead artist to help me out. And he's a highly intelligent guy. He knows his shit when it comes to AI or Adobe Illustrator and all these things. And he's took a look the first time. And at that point, it was only 7 foil chase cards, and just basically redoing the common cards to keep that education, because we only change up once a year. So it should have been like 10% of what we normally have to do in recreating a whole set. And he's like, how are you doing this? How in the hell did you pull this off? And I'm like, well, we just did it. He goes, well, do you have like a breakdown of every step and everything? No. He goes, you don't have any of that. I'm like, no. He goes, how do you do it? I'm like, I have whiteboards and I just do it and I check it off. Okay, that part's done, and I keep going. And yeah, it's one of those where now we're like breaking down the SOP of how to do this. We were doing it yesterday for like 4 hours, him and a new team member that's trying to help. And they're like, okay, how far have we gotten? I'm like, I think we've gotten like 2% in. And they're like, how come you've never done this? I'm like, because it's going to take 100 hours for us to break down every step and every little thing. And he's like, we're already at 100 steps. I'm like, yeah, but there's 20 to 30 steps inside each one of those 100 steps. And that's why I've never done that, because moving forward, the fact that the team has been me and Sam, it's like, we don't have time to break down every step of the way, because if we did that, we'd never get to printing the cards. So it's one of those where, again, kind of like the team, the project, everything, we're running on passion. We're just running on pure hope, passion, and the drive to create something incredible. And coming from the farm, it's kind of the same thing. There's a lot of times you don't have time to dial it in. You just got to go out there and kick dirt and do as much as you can, because there's no time to really figure out what your SOP is going to be to save the cow or to save the crop. It's just get out there and go at it. So that's kind of, being that's how I've ran throughout my life. That's how I've run. And hopefully my team doesn't kill me now that they're trying to get me to dial it in, because it's a constant one where the team is doing the faceplant thing. But we've got the passion, we've got the drive. I'm like that guy that's firing them all up the best I can. And we've got Brandon, again, with his background being on a team. He knows it. Sometimes you just got to jump in and make the goal and make it happen. And there is no time to sit and discuss exactly what the game plan is. What's the game plan? We're going to kick ass today, boys. Yeah.
That's it.